you love at Courts Optical. Shop today and enjoy 50% off our wide selection of fashionable frames. Choose from our flexible payment plans from 3 to 24 months. Schedule your appointment online today at www.courtsoptical.com. Remember, at Courts Optical, your comprehensive eye exam is always free. So come in and find the frames you love at 50% off only at Courts Optical. See in store for details. Courts Optical. Value you can see.
Welcome back. I'm Nerissa Sandy with the details. In the news, there are 3 prospective investors interested in the Otley Hall Marina and Shipyard, with all 3 of them having already made visits to the facility. This is according to Prime Minister Dr. Rav Gonsalves while speaking in Parliament last week. Dr. Gonsalves said the plan is to rehabilitate the facility, including the dry dock. We hear more from the Prime Minister.
We are currently holding discussion with at least 3 prospective investors, one from Guyana, one from Trinidad, and one from St. Lucia. Actually, the person from St. Lucia yesterday was supposed to be touring the facility in respect of his proposal, and I'm told that he did so. The gentleman from Guyana, the potential investor from Guyana, and the one from Trinidad, they have also visited the facility.
That was Prime Minister Dr. Rav Gonsalves speaking in Parliament last week. Prime Minister Gonsalves said that if any group of persons in SVG are interested in investing in and operating the Otley Hall Marina and Shipyard, the government will be willing to work with them. In other news, construction of temporary buildings meant to house the Mary Hutchinson Primary School located in Union Island has been hampered by supply chain issues, with a new expected completion date set for March 31st. Last year, Minister of Education Curtis King informed the House of Assembly that the buildings would be complete by the end of December of 2022. However, speaking in Parliament last week, King said, or he told MPs, if the completion date is met, the new buildings will be made available to students and staff at the Mary Hutchinson Primary School for the 3rd term. We hear more from Curtis King.
A number of unexpected supply chain issues hampered the work program, which significantly delayed the project. The work is now making steady progress and is approximately 75% completed. 4 of the 5 buildings are substantially completed. The contractor is awaiting the delivery of windows. The supplier has experienced delays with certain components of particular windows. The 5th building is behind schedule. However, the subcontractor is committed to increasing the labor force to have the project completed within the revised end date of March 31st, 2023.
That was Minister of Education Curtis King speaking in Parliament last week. Several persons were taken to the Milton Cater Memorial Hospital for medical treatment on the weekend following 11 vehicular accidents reported here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. This is according to Corporal 374 King of the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force. King was at the time speaking on WEFM's Traffic Talk program this morning. We hear more from Corporal King. We must apologize, we do not have that insert for you. In news out of the region, Guyana and India are close to signing a memorandum of understanding aimed at boosting their cooperation in the petroleum sector. Guyana's Department of Public Information reported that Vice President Dr. Bharat Jagdeo revealed this information during an interview with Indian media. Jagdeo is on an official trip to India where he is furthering discussions that began when President Dr. Muhammad Irfan Ali visited New Delhi in January. Jagdeo said the Indian cabinet has to approve the MOU before it can be signed by both parties. The vice president also noted that Guyana has a lot of potential for Indian investors as it has one of the world's largest oil reserves, equivalent to more than 11 billion barrels, as well as deposits of precious metals and vast amounts of land. In Jamaica, Jamaica's opposition party said it is deeply concerned by the recent announcement by the National Water Commission, the NWC, that water restrictions have been imposed in sections of Kingston and St. Andrew. Jamaican opposition spokesperson on agriculture and water, Lothan Cousins, was quoted as saying by Caribbean Loop News that access to water is a fundamental human right recognized by the United Nations. Lothan said lack of access to water is a major concern in almost every constituency in Jamaica, especially those in rural and mountainous regions, and more recently, the corporate area. Noting that the restrictions are expected to continue into May of this year, the opposition spokesperson indicated that it is quite unfortunate that an island so blessed with water resources has to resort to a regulation schedule in order to supply water to its citizens. He also added that rapid growth of the population and increasing urbanization of Kingston and St. Andrew without proper environmental planning would further exacerbate the issue. On the international scene, a magnitude 5.6 earthquake has hit eastern Turkey, killing at least one person and wounding dozens, while causing some damage to buildings. Let me take that again. A magnitude 5.6 earthquake has hit eastern Turkey, killing at least one person and wounding dozens while causing some damaged buildings to collapse. According to Al Jazeera News, today's earthquake became the latest major tremor to rock southern Turkey as the region rebuilds from earlier massive quakes that killed more than 50,000 people across southern Turkey and northwest Syria. The latest quake occurred in one of the provinces, and the epicenter of the magnitude 7.8 earthquake that hit the region on February 6th, and 69 others were injured. According to reports, a four-story building where a father and daughter were trapped collapsed during this new and latest earthquake. In sports, England has produced a compelling test match, according to BBC Sports, on Saturday morning, with New Zealand 226 behind and almost 3 days of the second test in Wellington remaining. The follow-on was enforced. It was surely not the plan for the Black Caps to then rack up 483 and set England 258 to win. According to BBC Sports, in England's view, the follow-on was the positive option. It is also the option that has left them in danger of a historic defeat, but left the rest of us with the prospect, and that should mean with them, the prospect of a thrilling conclusion. Whether or not enforcing the follow-on is the most positive option is up for debate. The report says it is certainly the swiftest route to victory, though it can also be argued a more positive method is to nail the game down by batting again. And this brings us to the end of WEFM's Midday News. It came to you with the kind compliments of Courts and Vincent Limited. My name is Nerissa Sandy. Thank you for listening.
Get the kind of value you love that's unmatched at Courts now. We're unmatched in quality and prices. Buy any item and get up to 30% off the second item of same or equal value store-wide. When you shop with Ready Finance, you can get it now with no cash and pay over